the Sunday feast, and I have an English Bhagavad Gita. I also had the German, but we will speak in English. Nochmal, wenn jemand kein Englisch versteht, gibt es hier eine Übersetzung. Ja. Okay. So we read from the Bhagavad Gita, and today we have chapter 4, verse number 13. And since some 6 months or something, we have started from the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, and we are going through 108 essential verses of the Bhagavad Gita. So all of the verses are very important, but they are like 108, which are like chosen from the great scholars in our line. And from this 108, you can get a quite good overview understanding of what is Bhagavad Gita about. So today we read from the 4th canto, verse number 13. And we just say one prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chaturvayam Manashishtam. Please read. Gunakama Vibhagashaha. Tashyakata Ramapimam. Vichakata Ramavyayam. Chaturvarnam Maya Shishtam. Gunakama Vibhagashaha. Tashyakata Ramapimam. Vichakata Ramavyayam. Chaturvaryam Maya Shishtam. Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. Tashyakapimam. Vijaykata Ramavyayam. Somebody else like to chat? Chaturvarna Maya Shrishtam. Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. Tashyakata Ramapimam. Vijaykata Ramavyayam. Okay, thank you so much. So we have the translation word for word, and I will just read it. You don't need to repeat, I'll just read the translation word for word, and then we have the translation of the word, and then we have a purport which goes for almost 1 page. So buckle up to listen. Okay, so we have Chaturvayam, the 4 divisions of human society. Maya, by me. Shishtam, created. Guna, quality. Karma, work. Abhakashaha, in terms of division. Tashya, of that. Kartaram, the father. Api, although. Mam, me. Viti, you may know. Kartaram, as the non-doer. Avyayam, being unchangeable. So from all of these words, some of the words may be known to you, like the word karma, or even the word guna, which means qualities. So some words may be known to you, but here we have the translation of the verse. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So this is Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is speaking to Arjuna, and he is speaking about the society. We are all living in a social structure, a society structure of different communities, cities, countries, like this. And this is what Krishna is speaking about here. He wanted that the people live a civilized life. And for creating a structure of a civilized society, he created 4 different kinds of work for people. So it's in India, there is some kind of understanding, which is actually some kind of misunderstanding of the caste system, where you are born into a certain caste and therefore you belong to that section of society. But when we study more how Krishna actually arranged this different level of society, it was more according to the work of each person, not where he was born. It's not that you're born somewhere and then you're stamped, this is your birth. That was not the idea of the original Varnashram system, it's called. So I will read some part of the purport, maybe all of it. The Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of him, everything is sustained by him, and everything is annihilated after annihilation, rests in him. He is therefore the creation of the 4 divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called the Brahmanas, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men, called the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed mode of passion and ignorance, and the Sudra, or the laborer class, is situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the 4 divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions because he is not one of the conditioned souls, a section of whom from human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate men from the animal status, the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. So this is very difficult for us as modern people in the Western culture to understand. Why do we need a society with different groupations of people? But Srila Prabhupada always gives the example of the society is like a big body, and the body needs a head. The head is very important. A body without the head, it's not going to function. But the body also needs arms. And the arms in this example, the head is like the Brahmana, the intelligent class of men, the scientists, the philosophers, the teachers, all the people who actually live. They're like sponges. Wherever there is knowledge, they go there and they suck up the knowledge. That's the nature of the Brahmana. So that's the people who are like the head of the society. That's actually the people who should give guidance to the whole society. And then there's the Kshatriyas. These are the protectors. These are the arms of the society. They give protection. That's in the form of the police, the military, everything, the king, whoever is protecting the citizens within the society. They are like the arms, and they're always very curious. What are you doing? Or how can I help you? They always have this. They always want to find out what is going on. But if people are following the law and people are acting in a proper way, then they will protect you. That's the arms of the society. And these, even we don't know. We may not know Bhagavad Gita, we may not know that Krishna created the system of the Varnashram system, but in all society you will find these 4 different groups. And then you have the belly. We have it in our society, we need our production of food. We need our production of everything which has to do with money and wealth and financing and banking and even cow protection and growing grains and vegetables and everything which is like creating opulence within the society. That's within the Vaishya community. That's within the community of the belly. And then the whole society, the body needs legs. Because otherwise you cannot move anywhere if you don't have legs. Everybody came here. You all came on your legs. I mean, you may have come with a car, but at least some part of the way you came on your legs. So the legs is a very important part of the body. So everybody in the society who is doing menial labor, everybody who is working with their hands, all the artists, everybody who's creating and maintaining, repairing stuff and building stuff and taking care of stuff and everybody, to get the whole society to move, these are like the legs. So we have the head, we have the arms, we have the belly, and we have the legs. And in a Vedic culture or the Vedic society, it would look almost like a pyramid. There will be not so many brahmanas. There will be, and there is actually a second way how you can see in which group we belong, each of us. So in the purport we were just reading, we were reading how each of the different varnas, the different qualities, it's according to how they are in the modes of nature. If they're in goodness, they're in passion, they're in ignorance. Different mixture of the modes of nature makes up this. But there is another way which is quite interesting, and I don't think it's really practiced anywhere, but that would be when the society really become ripe as a Vedic society. Then the brahmanas, they would only live by donations. They wouldn't have a salary. If you are like an astrologer or philosopher or a teacher, if you teach somebody and they are satisfied with your teaching, they would give you a donation. And you would, because Brahmana, they are in the mode of goodness, they don't need a lot of material opulence, or they can live very simply. So they just live on donations. And then we have the Kshatriyas, the arms of the society. They live by taxes. So The police is paid by the taxes, the king is paid by the everybody who is giving protection, the military, it's all done by the taxes. So they are paid by the taxes of society. They actually, because they give protection to everybody, they actually have a right to take taxes. Because they are not taking the taxes to exploit the citizens, they're taking the taxes to protect the citizens. So it's good. So, and the Vaishyas, the belly, they simply live by business. They just, you give a Vaishya, a sack of potato, and after 3 months he comes back with 2,000 euros. He know how to make out of almost nothing. He can create a business. All these very business savvy people who think, how can I fulfill the need of the people materially, and how can I make a business out of it? These are all the Vaishyas. These are all the people, they know how to, they just know by instinct how to make money out of whatever opportunity they are given. And how to, a real Vaishya, if one actually has the real quality of the belly, the real quality, he will just produce more and more and more and more. He can just, things are just growing for him. That's the real Vaishya. And he would, he don't need any donations. He also don't need to take taxes, but he just built up a business. And that's how he is a self-sufficient business person. That's the Vaishya. And then you have the last, or the legs of the society, who are making sure that everything is produced and running smoothly and like that. And that last part of the society, they get a paid salary. They're paid a salary. So once a month or once a week or once a day, they get paid. They're working for somebody, maybe in a factory, maybe they're working for the government, whoever they're working for, it doesn't matter, but they get a paid salary. So this is also how you can see the different qualities in the society. Do you live from donations, or you just give knowledge to others? Do you give protection to the society? You can take taxes. Are you just producing? Then you just have abundance by your own kind of business savviness. Or do you work for somebody and you get paid? So these are also like qualities that can help us understand it. And these qualities, they are in all societies. Of course, in German society, the scientists and the teachers and everybody, they get paid a salary. So what are they, But there's a very beautiful story of a king, and he had an advisor. He had a brahmana. He was a king, and he had a brahmana, and the brahmana was living out in the forest. And every time the king needed to get an advice, he had to travel to the forest to find the brahmana and then ask his questions and then get his advice. And the king was a little troubled by this, because every time he needed some advice, he had to go and find the brahmana. And brahmana was very happy and peaceful living in the forest. But the king, he said, "Can you not please come and live? I will give you a nice place in the palace where you can live. And then it's much easier for me when I have to come and get your advice." And then the brahmana, he was like a little bit, because he wanted to be a good servant also. That's also the nature of the brahmana. They see themselves as servant of whole society by giving good advice, giving knowledge like that. So he was thinking, yeah. But then he understood that if I am living comfortably in the palace of the king, then it's like I'm bored. And I may not be able to give advices without bias. I will be, I will give advices not because it's the very right thing, but it's just so that I can keep living in my nice place, So my advices will not be so good. So he declined. He said to the king, no, I'm gonna stay in the forest. If you want to have a Brahmana who is like a free spirit thinker, who is really going for the truth, I need to stay in the forest. So we don't have these kinds of Brahmana in our society nowadays, unfortunately. It would be a great help for the whole society if there would be somebody who could just give knowledge for the sake of what is right and like that. But we read the Bhagavad Gita, and that is the system that Krishna created. Therefore, Krishna, he's speaking about this, the four orders of life. They were created by me for the sake of elevating people. So we can read a little more. The tendency of a particular man toward work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas, because a Brahmana by quality is supposed to know about Brahman, the supreme absolute truth. Most of them approach the impersonal Brahman, manifestation of Lord Krishna, but only a man who has, I hear this translation. Adishish, du bist mir vor mir, das ist schwierig zu lesen. Ich höre immer, was du sagst. Okay. Most of them approach the impersonal Brahman, manifestation of Lord Krishna, but only a man who transcends the limited knowledge of a Brahmana can reach the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shri Krishna becomes a person. Lord Shri Krishna becomes a person in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, a Vaishnava. A Krishna consciousness includes knowledge of all the different plenary expansions of Krishna, namely Ram, Nrsimha, Varaha, etc. However, as Krishna is transcendental to this system of the four divisions of human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider the divisions of community, nation, or species. So this was not so easy to read, but I hope you could a little bit understand that. So Krishna, he is transcendental. He is not within the system of these four different orders of life. And similarly, a person who is completely devoted to Krishna, he may be working in the garden, or he may be cooking in the kitchen, or he may be building in our building construction. But because he is doing it with love and devotion for Krishna, he is actually above all of the different divisions of. Because what he's doing is going directly to the service of the Lord. So this is very interesting, because I think nobody wants to be put in a box. We want to be free. So how can you be free? You can only be free if you serve the ultimate free. So Krishna, he is the supreme person. He's the ultimate free, supreme personality of Godhead. He's independent. He's Swarat. Nobody can put him in a box. So when we serve him, we will also become liberated from all designations. The last designations which are here is like the the designation of society, the designation of nation, and even the designation of species. So even we are now in the human species of life, but even that's just an outer designation. So these are all very interesting subjects which are found in the Bhagavad Gita. It's not so easy to understand, but if you come here regularly on Sunday and we talk about these different subject matters, then little by little by little we will come to know this knowledge from all angles, and we can also open up now for maybe there is some comments or some questions to what we were reading today. Otherwise, maybe some inspiration from somebody who came for the first time. You can say something if you like. It's actually very interesting because the more you become absorbed in your work, if you do that as an offering to Krishna, then the work itself becomes bhakti. It becomes the connection. So if you're very, very much absorbed in your gardening or your building or even your computing some things, but if you do it, at least the results in the end, the flowers you grow, the end result of your building, at least if that is offered to Krishna, then the whole process become a connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So work is very important. Everybody has to do some kind of activity, some kind of work. And it's also for every one of us, it's also important to feel that we are giving a contribution, that we are making, whatever we are doing is making a change in the world in a positive sense. It's a important thing for our self-worth also, that we give a contribution. But we have to figure out, how can I connect whatever I do as a work? Everybody has a natural quality. We have some devotees, they write beautiful poetry about Krishna. We have devotees who can paint wonderful things. We have devotees who are making, we see on the altar, all the decoration, the flower garlands, the clothes, it's hand sewn clothes. So it's done, but it's work, but it's done with love and devotion. And this transcends all the different classes within society. Normally, somebody who would be sewing the clothes, that would be like the legs, artistic endeavors. They're all within the legs of society. But because you do it to Krishna, it becomes completely transcendental. And you also get the realization of that you're connected with the Supreme. And if you do it with love and devotion, it will reflect your consciousness. You will be very happy, you'll be very satisfied. Maybe some question or some comments? Yes. Yes.
This is the first time, and I really want to thank you. This is absolutely beautiful kirtan and beautiful lecture. You mentioned there are 108 verses that you have picked up and we'll be discussing. This is from 4.13. How many have you already done? How much have you missed?
How much have you missed? You have missed the first 4 chapters until verse 13. But we have, Kamala Sita, she is planning all our lectures and she has the whole list. So it's maybe around, because actually it's interesting, because in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita and second chapter, there are lots of really, the whole book is like building on lots of the verses in the beginning. So you have missed quite many important verses. But you take your Bhagavad Gita with you. Huh? Yeah.
55 verses.
Oh,
We have already done 55.
55.
We are just in 35, 35. Okay.
Today is the 56.
Okay, so today is the third. Yeah, so we have done like a third of the 108 verses until now. 9, 35. Okay, okay. So we have like a third of the important verses, and we are just this chapter is called Transcendental Knowledge. It's the fourth chapter. So yes.
I have a question. Why do you guys do 108 versus 100 or 100 or 110? Why exactly 110?
That's a good question. There are certain numbers which have a blessing in them, and one of these numbers is 108. So, like if you have somebody has a japamala. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, he has his where he is meditating on the beats. Yeah, so there is also like 108 pearls, and they symbolizes something very esoteric. Krishna, he is personally there as a big pearl, and then there's 108 of his intimate servants who are there representing with each pearl. So this is again and again 108. You will find it in many, many places as a number. We don't call it a prime number, but it's a number which has a certain blessing within it. So, but the person who chose the verses, I mean, this is a very, very difficult task to take out of the 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, to take out 108 and say they are essential. It's actually not possible. It's just to kind of like help us a little bit to so that maybe within the year of the Sunday, it will actually take us 2 years to go through. Now we have 52 Sundays, and then a little more than 2 years we will finish the 108 verses. So
But that's the goal.
yeah.
I mean, the 108 is just the starting off point. When we stop the 108, we'll just do
Yeah.
the reverse.
Yeah. So, but there are 700 verses, and there's a method called the Mahatma Gandhi method, because Mahatma Gandhi, he would read Bhagavad Gita every day. He would read Bhagavad Gita every day. But when he was in a certain life situation where he needed guidance and help, he would just open, and then he would read. So this is like the Mahatma Gandhi method. If you want some spiritual guidance in your life, you can open. But it's very, very helpful to study like systematically, because everything builds on the next one. So that's a great help. Something else? We have so many new guests today. Yeah, something else? Questions? No? No? So Krishna, he is not within these 4 orders of life, but it's very interesting that when Krishna appeared on the planet, he actually acted. First, he was a cowherd boy within the Vaishya community, where he was milking cows and taking care of his brother. He had a plow, which would plow the field. So they were a part of the belly. They were producing goods, and there was such an abundance there because they were following the rules within that community. They would go to the king and bring their yearly taxes. They would, wherever there was a teacher or brahmana within the community, they would always give them, gifts and cloth and food, and they would give donations to the teachers within the society, to the brahmanas. They would take guidance from the brahmanas. So Krishna, he would act within that society and follow the rules. But then later, he was a little older. He went to Mathura, and it was actually known that he was the son of a king. And because he was the son of a king, he started to act within the royal order. So he changed. He grew up as a Vaishya, and then he changed and became a king. Kshatriya. Yeah. So this is very interesting. And then we have, of course, the most recent incarnation, which were there just a little more than 500 years ago, where Krishna, he comes as his own devotee, as a brahmana, as Lord Chaitanya, and he is actually in the head part of the society. He comes as a brahmana, and he teaches Vedic knowledge, and he teaches also the process of devotional service. So Krishna, even he doesn't belong to any category, still, to give a proper example to the society, he would come and he would act in a proper way, so that people could see, oh, that's how you do it. If you want to be a brahmana, you should be a brahmana like Lord Chaitanya, who would just study whole day. He would be so absorbed in the study of the scriptures. He would. The only other things he would do, he would teach, and then he would bathe, and he would eat, and then he would do some worship. But his whole life was centered, especially his youth, was centered around knowledge, like a brahmana should be. So we can sing a little bit. Usually we will stand up and sing, and during this time we can prepare the table where we serve the food, and then everybody can offer a small lamp. We have prepared some small ghee lamps. Usually that's done in the month of Kartik, but today is also like a festival day, so we will also, everybody can come to the altar and offer a small lamp. So, thank you for today, and Hare Krishna.